We made it here to Being T.R. Franklin, where we feel freely able to admit that sometimes we feel shitty. Yes, that is the truth. Sometimes I feel shitty. Sometimes we feel shitty. Okay, so relax and enjoy this episode of Integral Being, knowing that just because we're experiencing some sort of shit or pain or trauma in our lives, that does not define who we are. It's just about how we're feeling. I wanted to come out and talk a little bit about the trauma thoughts, the trauma forms that attach related to race. I haven't had many negative experiences personally, but that doesn't mean that I have not been impacted by race in a way that has traumatized me. There has been a certain fear that was instilled in me of systematic control and authority that really has not helped me in my life in terms of being able to participate in a system without being paranoid and without constantly feeling like I am on the outside of a structure that was not created to support me. So this happens not just to people because of race, trauma in relation to fear, in relation to security and stability and support. Also in relation to just feeling unloved, unwelcome, unwanted. So it becomes super important in these instances to heal oneself, to accept oneself, to love oneself, and through that develop a sense of identity that I'm saying, is more rooted in personal authenticity, personal integrity, and individual identity, that's outside of all of these constructs. And so there are ways to start doing this, but I think that I feel the first way that helped me the most was to really start looking at myself as an individual. Outside of the context of all of these identity structures, and then to start one step by step rebuilding that kind of sense of connection to self as an authentic personality. And one practical way of doing this is changing the way that we think about the concepts of identity, especially related to race and nationality. More that we look internally for this security, sense of authority and self-awareness, self-acceptance, self-love, the more we can develop this kind of internal support system. Okay, so you're probably wondering, Tamiko, what the fuck? What are we going to do to feel a little bit better today, right? Let's get to it. I'm glad you asked, because today we'll be looking at practical approaches that I've been mining, which are, in my humble opinion, IMHO, the most effective practices that I've found to increase self-awareness in these ways using these types of techniques. So welcome to That Integral Life, and let's get started. All right, so today's episode will have 4 parts, okay? Part 1 is the mindset, okay? And the mindset is the kind of underlying maybe ideas that we need to at least be aware of in order to appreciate and begin to authentically integrate these approaches that we'll be introduced to in the show, okay? Part 2 is the approach and how it is helpful. In today's episode, the approaches that we'll be dealing with is relaxation, body awareness, and active meditation. Okay. Part 3 is the approach in practice. So this is the work. Let's call it the work. So these are the day-to-day things that you can incorporate in the day-to-day that will help to bring you closer to feeling better using these techniques. And part 4 is our conclusion, our wrap up, and today it will be mostly about personal attention, self-attention, self-care, okay? And how these techniques help to contribute to self-awareness and self-love. So, season 1, episode 1 of Integral Being, take 1. Part 1 is mindset. There's something very important that I want to share about self-acceptance and being cool with ourselves, regardless of who we are, where we are, and in our lives, in our, feelings. It's super mega ultra important to disassociate personal value from healing and growth, right? Because I am enough right now as I am, even in my shit, okay? And you are enough right now as you are in your shit. This is not about you becoming a better person or becoming a better version of yourself. No, this is just about you feeling better, being where you're at, who you are, because that you are valuable as you are, and I am valuable as I am, okay? So that's the first thing. Doing this type of work, processing, healing, I'm referring, when I say work, it's like referring to that stuff, processing, healing, so whatever term you prefer. It helps me feel better, I'm worthy and valuable, whether I'm healed or not, whether I go through life like propagating suffering and feeling like pain and depressed and shit, or not. I'm valuable and I'm worthy. I'm an amazing person regardless. My healing doesn't have anything to do with me becoming a better person. It's just about me feeling better, having more joy, and becoming less affected in my present ability to experience joy because of past things that have happened to me, or even shit that's happening to me today. Oh shit, you know what I'm saying? I got this phone call, I have to deal with this, horrible thing that I'd rather not have to deal with, you know what I mean? So it's more about that, managing how today we can feel better, and that way be a little bit more in our authenticity. The second thing is our structure. Number 2 is being aware of our structure as human beings, okay? So we have energetic, emotional, and physical dimensions to our beingness. Energetic, emotional, mental, physical dimensions to our beingness. So behind the signs of our life, like breathing, like having a heartbeat, there's something that's even more fundamental that's taking place, right? There's something behind those things, behind our heartbeat, behind us breathing, behind our brain waves, that's making those things happen. And that, my dears, appears to be something we refer to as energy. Isn't it interesting? Because it's interesting to me. I don't know. Maybe it's interesting to you guys too. That some people think it's really like woo-woo to talk about energy systems that underlie the body. But I'm saying we have a freaking neuro-emotional electrical system that we operate. It's, I don't understand what's fucking woo-woo about that. What's fucking woo-woo about that? We have a neurochemical electrical system that's operating in our human body. Understanding energy, what's woo-woo about that? So welcome to That Integral Life. Let's get started. Practice, okay? So I'll share with you guys some meditation techniques, especially the ones that helped me to initially start with physical awareness. So, in terms of the energetic, emotional, physical body type of awareness building. So congratulations, we made it! Yay! So tapping into our neuro, electrical, emotional, physical system, okay? The coziest technique that I found to feel better about and to feel more one with myself was relaxation. Okay? That's the way I started. Okay? So relaxation, I know that sounds really like basic as fuck. I know that sounds like totally basic. And it should. I'm glad that it does. Because this part should be super simple. It's the beginning, right? Relaxation is the first step towards building a meditation practice. And I would say the first step towards building true mindfulness and body awareness. And so, like body relaxation, I think that's good to start off with. I started off with being guided through this process of relaxing. And really, it's just what it sounds like. Okay, so it's starting off with the top of the head, you know, the skull, the forehead. I'm relaxing my eyes, I'm relaxing my cheeks, I'm relaxing my throat, I'm relaxing my shoulders, I'm relaxing my arms, like this. So this initial technique let me start feeling the flow of energy throughout the body, because I was walking around not really realizing that actually, I mean, sometimes I would get a pain, or sometimes I would get a cramp, or sometimes, when something would start on me, I'd be like, you know what I mean? I would feel that in certain places in my body. Well, what I didn't realize was that there's always kind of a feeling of flow that's happening. And until I started to sit and do this relaxing for, I don't know, I think I started out with like 20 minutes a day. And I always made sure that I did it either before I got out of the bed in the morning or when I got into the bed at night, because otherwise you don't know. It's like, oh, if you set it at like, oh, you're going to do it after lunch, or, oh, you're going to do it, I liked having a time that was a time that I knew was going to happen. You know what I mean? I know I'm going to, well, you don't know. That's a Sadhguru thing. You wake up in the morning, oh, I'm alive. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's great, right? You never know. But like a time when I would suppose, most likely, I would wake up in the morning. So then I would do it when I woke up in the morning. Or, I'm going to go to bed eventually, regardless of whether it's 2 a.m. or 10 o'clock. I'm going to get in the bed at some point. And then I would do this relaxation kind of technique, okay? And like I said, it helped me to eventually get used to the feeling this flow in my body, and that eventually leads to the process of being able to identify when there is a place where things are a bit stuck, like it feels like either there's a block or a cramp, or like, and you realize that like, and what I realized anyway, that I would feel these things. I had been feeling these things my whole life. I'd feel when I was anxious or upset, I would feel something like in here on my side, or here, and so this was a lot. So this was my first step that led then towards leading myself to being able to identify and work with energy blocks. Okay. It's noticing the flow of energy in the body and noticing when there's some tension or pain or uncomfortableness that's in the body also. Okay. So that's step one. And like I said, I'm going to be fusing in some videos, some clips from videos so you can see examples of that, and then you can choose which ones work best for you. So that was step one, okay? In terms of a practical technique, that was the first. So that first technique allows us to experience, circulation of subtle energy in the body. And we get familiar and used to noticing how, when, and where this feeling of like electricity is in us, and how it pulses, and how it has waves, and it has a pulse, and like I don't even think of this as meditation. This is the first step towards meditation, building a meditation practice. So I believe relaxation is a very good intro into that. Okay, so I started off with relaxation sessions once a day for about 10 to 15 minutes. And the technique that I followed is exactly like anyway. Christina explained chakras as part of the body's energetic system, and an underlying component in relation to the mind system. And she really reveals how the mind works to create a story that reflects kind of the energetic messages that are being sent through the body energetic system. In this case, we're talking about the chakra system, but there are also like meridians and ki and Reiki points and other energetic mappings of this electrophysio system that's at work in the human organism. Okay, what am I talking about? About a year, about a year after I started relaxing, I added a 30-minute chakra meditation at either the beginning or the end of the day as well. Okay, I know it sounds like, oh no, I'm bragging. I'm not bragging. In real life, in real life, it was like, it's not a big deal. I mean, this is what I'm saying. Like, hopefully, it will help you too. So, I just play one of these 30-minute chakra meditations. I'm also adding links to those below in the description as well. They're like the one that I'm adding is a very simple, basic guided chakra meditation. And I'd play it on my phone before I got out of the bed, or as soon as I went to bed at night. Okay. Don't feel bad. I fell asleep a lot at first. So set an alarm. Set an alarm if you're supposed to, if you're doing this before you get up to go to work and this type of stuff. So, because I would a lot at the beginning, and sometimes randomly, I will still just fall asleep because it's relaxing. But that's the point, right? So next. All right. So about the chakra work, right? I feel like the chakra work is important and it's definitely worth adding on after some time. I wouldn't do it at the beginning of the relaxing because I feel like it really takes a while to get used to just sitting with yourself for even 20 minutes a day. I mean, that was a process. I think it took a year for me to be able to truly, on a regular basis, when I sit, I'm not saying that every single time, even I sit today, that I have the same experience. It's always different. But to have, I'd say, a regularly standard experience in terms of being able to achieve a level of relaxation and flow, with the physical energy system, it took a while. So I wouldn't suggest adding on the chakra meditation right away. But I don't know, after 6 months or, even if after a year, adding on the chakra meditation, I feel like it helps because the chakra system, and I'm saying chakras in particular, as opposed to the meridian system or the ki system, whatever, because chakras in particular give an immediate context to these sections, energetic flow, and areas of the body, and so it's super workable and easily understandable. Okay, in my IMHO. So this particular guided chakra meditation that I'm adding the link to in the description, it goes through balancing all of the chakras. It's really the first chakra that, which is the root chakra, the red one, that creates the foundation that we need to feel safe, stable, and secure as we move forward, and not just this part of the work, but on building up the connection between the physical, emotional, mental awareness that we need to understand when we're not feeling great, when we're feeling triggered, and how to manage those triggers. There are a lot of videos online that go over the chakra system, but I just want to give a real quick overview. that like sums them up in a way that the best way that I've seen, like that's very succinct. Okay, so the root chakra, the first one is I have enough, I am enough. Okay, so it's working with emotions related to being, enough, obviously, and being worthy, and feeling security and stability and safety. And so that's something that I think is very fundamental. Well, I can go through all of them. What I'll do is I can include a slide maybe into this video that will have like all of them listed. But like I said, the most important one and the one that will need to be worked with the most in order to have actual impact on the other ones and eventually on the mind is the root chakra. And Christina, yay, Tina, TT, she has a great video that explains that as well that I will also splice in. So you will see why where that idea came from, and I agree with her assessment about that. And I believe that it's a more targeted approach, focusing on the first chakra and building it up. So enjoy that. And that's part 3. All right, part 4 is just us wrapping up. These 2 practices combine to help me in a very gentle, kind, and nurturing way to myself begin to feel better, and eventually led to me having the ability to kind of let go of things, ideas, feelings, reactions, patterns. These are all patterns, that don't feel so good, So that is that for this episode. If you have any comments or questions, throw them in the comment section below. And I will see you guys the next time. Go live that integral life. Peace.